Hey everybody, welcome back. Not only is it the first week of the new year of 2022, but it's also the first week on the tall man from Phantasm bust and the Spitfire Mk, and it was good. It was fun. And you'll see there was got quite a good bit done this week, and I'm very happy. And then on top of that, we had a big snowstorm at the end of 2021, and that was a lot of digging. And then we hit sub-zero cold for the last week. I mean, we've been around air temp has been about negative 25, with the wind chill dropping as low as negative 50 to 60. So it's been cold, and I've been shoveling a lot. And yeah, and now I went outside and it's starting to snow hard again. So yay, I'll be digging out more snow. But I digress. So yes, I did get started on both of the kits. I got that nice, I have never done a marbling effect before, so I did a lot of research and watched. And I did the marbling effect, as you'll see on the bust, and I'm very, very, very happy with how it turned out. And we got a lot of pre-building done on the Spitfire. I got a lot of pre-building and started getting paint. I mean, that's fun. You guys know here at BTM, I can't ever do paint till I've been working on the kit for at least 2 to 3 weeks. You know, I can't. But hey, paint's down, it's fun, and you'll see that, guys. So if you are new to my channel, please click on the subscribe button, click on the little bell, you know, every time I upload. And I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate all you guys that subscribe, and I cannot wait to meet and see and hear from you new subscribers. But with that, we are now at 438 subscribers at BTM Scale Modeling. So 12 more, and I'll do that. I'll do that giveaway. But also, if you have a question about something I did, or if you have, hey Buck, can you go more into that? Or hey Buck, can you do just a video on that technique, or why you did that technique, and break it down? Please let me know. Put it in the comment section, and I will definitely respond. And also, I also love all the comments of hey Buck, great job, hey Buck, wow, or hey Buck, what the heck were you thinking, and why did you do it that way? Put them in there, and I usually answer, like I said, within 12 to 24 hours. So with that, Happy New Year, everyone, and let's get to the bench. Well, good Monday morning. I hope you all had a great New Year's and a very safe New Year's. And yeah, we did too. I get to spend a lot of time with my granddaughter Melody and my daughter and her husband, soon-to-be husband. But hey, it was great. So yes, back to work, back to work, back to work I go. So first things first is I went in and started sanding and taking a lot of the excess off of from, you know, when they cast it and made it and poured it. And what I mean by that is I'm just taking off the little burrs, and then I'm going through and starting to fill some of the holes. But if you see what I'm saying, let me see if I can get that in camera there for you. So you see right there, that little bit right under the shirt, that's stuff I'm cleaning. And then there is the blades, and these are going to take a little bit, a lot of sanding. I mean, and that's just fine. I mean, they do have some demarcation lines, but my client sent me a good photo of this, and yeah, so I'm going to be working on that. But while I'm going to be working on that, I'm going to go ahead and start doing some pre-builds. So that is drying, and so let's get over and look at the Spitfire real quick. Okay, since I said I'm going to do pretty much a build by build of the Spitfire, the tank, and Tall Man. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And the other thing is, if you just getting into modeling or getting back into modeling, definitely watch other builders out there too. There's a lot of other great builders out there. So the first thing I usually do when I start a build, besides I've looked at these instructions quite a bit, but the first thing I'm going to do is I want to get pre-builds done, and I need to see what I can do for pre-builds. And that's the easy part, is just going through your instructions and start looking. And like I said, the great thing with the Tamiya model brand is it gives you really a lot of good details. So like getting started on the cockpit. So there's photo etch, just into the heads-up display, the compass, the rudders, and then here's the fuselage. There's things to add to the fuselage. So, because there's a lot of little bits, first thing I usually want to do is see what I need to try to get painted before and what I can assemble. So let me get to that, and we'll start looking at what we can do. Okay, so I'm going to start on getting stuff into the fuselage except for the instruments, and there's some things you have to do. I got to cut out stuff, but the great thing about Tamiya is when you go to start cutting them off the sprue, Tamiya, this is one of the cuts here. Let me show you. So Tamiya, it's right there on the inside, but here's the great thing. Even on the outside, it doesn't seem like a lot. So, you know, it's really good because most of the time the sprues attach on the top. Well, Tamiya puts them down a little bit, which is great, and lets you come in and take care of them without damaging the actual model. As you can see, guys. And this is one of the things you really want to get done first, is to make sure you got all the cleanup, because there's nothing worse than putting this thing together and, oh, look, it doesn't want to play nice. So, yeah, I'm still working on them, but that's okay. Just patience, you know, just a little patient. Let's see. Okay. Just kind of double checking. And then another thing I kind of always do is I test fit it together. Even though it's not getting put together yet, I'm going to test fit just so I can see if there's anything I can do a little more, like trying to get it together, right? Sorry guys. Darn thing wants to play around. And just kind of, I can tell you guys, sometimes these things like to work, and sometimes they just want to start kicking you right then and there. But then I can go look, so you can see these bottom two, maybe. Let me get my hand up there. So you see those little bottom two? That's going to be really easy. I can, you know, I'll take my handy dandy sanding sticks, and I'll go in and just finish getting them down. And this is a very, this sands well, but it's light, so you can go, and if you do any crazy scratching into the fuselage, you're like, how the heck did I do that? And it helps take it down. I mean, I have to use, sometimes I use 2 or 3 sandpapers just to make sure it's all gone. But yeah, so let's try this one more time. And if you do sand a little deep, don't worry guys, you'll be able to take care of that with putty. As you can see right here, maybe. I'm going to have to take care of that with a little putty, but that's fine. I can deal with that and keep that detail, so I don't have to go crazy on sanding. And the great thing is, I won't do any of the, I won't really prep any of the seam lines so after I get the Spitfire, the body parts together, so I can see, because the great thing about Tamiya is, they do a lot of great things just to hide their seam lines on most things. And that's what's really great. So, okay. And then the other thing, guys, don't forget, it'll show you, but here is a big piece of the kit I need to cut out, and Tamiya does really well. And make sure you got a brand new kind of sharp X-Acto, I mean a really good sharp X-Acto knife, and get it out. And sometimes you kind of got to work at it. Trust me. Sometimes you might have to kind of scribe it a little bit more. And don't worry if you don't, you know, you shouldn't try to get it out one huge piece. So, kind of like what I'm doing is I'm just going to go through and start whittling it down. Because you don't want to try to get that all out in one big hunk, because if you do that, it might end up taking things, but now that it's a little smaller, I'm still not taking out a big piece, but now I can actually get in here a little more like that and round it out. And then I'll take my sanding stick, because it works really great here, and I'll do that. So guys, let me get this ready and let me get some parts on, and I'll show you that when I get done. I don't think you want to keep sitting here watching me do this, but I will make sure I turn the camera on this rounds to make sure you see when I go to do certain things, and then while I'm doing repeats I won't film that. But yeah, so onward I go. Alright, so I'm starting to work on doing a lot of pre-building on the Rolls-Royce engine. Sorry, I got the camera kind of close so I can show you what I'm about to do. But so this is one side. So in the instructions you'll see stuff like this. Oops. Let me zoom out just a second so I can actually show you. Okay, this part right here. And this means you need to make a hole. Now it does tell you the size of the hole it wants is 0.8 millimeters. But you're like, how the heck do I figure that out? Well, the other great thing is the pieces you got, because Tamiya definitely, let me see if I can get it in camera there, puts the holes, let me zoom out so it's not trying to blow up on you, but they indentate the holes that they need you to drill. Now one of the easiest ways, especially with the Tamiya kits, if that hole's already prepped, just take a drill bit, a smaller one, and then see, and like that. And see if it's too big, too small, or if it's just right, you know, kind of like porridge. So, but then you can go ahead and make the hole. And I definitely tell you these drills. I don't remember the right word right now, but they definitely become a very big part of your hobby doing. And then pull it back out, and then you go, oh my god, look at, let me see if we can get in camera. There you go. So that's the drill hole, and you go, oh my god, it just messed up. Great thing is take your sharp X-Acto knife and just scrape it over the top. I'm sorry guys, trying to stay in camera. Scrape it over the top, and you'll get that big push out. So I'm going to drill the next hole, and I'm going to zoom out so I'm not, you know, staying out of focus on you guys, or not keeping it in. So that's the one I just did. And now, get this guy done. And, yay! Okay, so this one is done. And sometimes you might need to take your X-Acto, make sure it's clean. Okay. Now another tip. I have Tamiya extra thin cement. Excuse me. And I'll tell you what, you definitely gonna want it, because sometimes this stuff can get a little crazy. But the other, I mean, I like my CA, but for these parts, sometimes the CA is too much, and the thin liquid Tamiya cement works wonders. So I just put a little bit on there, just like so. Then I'll put the top part on, and the reason you see me using tweezers is I don't want to, even though this is not CA, I really do want to try to keep, you know, the fingerprints off. And open these back up so I can look and see how that's supposed to go. So you're here, you're there, okay. And then I'm going to add the top. And again, like I said, they do some really great thinking when they go to build these things, because there's, yeah. So I'm going to do that. And like I said, just kind of brushing it in, not going crazy, because like I said, I don't want to, you know, get fingers. And then I just do that and let that sit for a second, because I got to get a small part. And again, this is where the tweezers really come in. So this is the small part I need to do, this 3 right here. Let me get my hand up there, okay? And yeah, even definitely want to, you know, you don't have to be too ginger, but you definitely want to be as careful as you can, because you can snap these things sometimes without even, you didn't even think you did anything, and yeah, they'll snap right off. So I take out the little things, get those trimmed. So this is set. So now these are the holes, and that's why I had to drill the holes, is for that. So what I'm going to do, just gonna do a little bit of glue in each hole, because I don't need to try to go crazy with it. Then I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to start trying to get it into place. Again, that's where these tweezers definitely come. And then I just kind of just tap it down like that, and I ignore it. I walk away and I don't do anything. So, as for the little parts on the fuselage, if you don't have any mini Ziploc baggies or something, grab them, because trust me, you're going to want them, because I have to get those painted separate before I can actually do any more into the fuselage on that. So I'm going to keep going, and when I have a little bit more to share, I'll be back. Alright, now for the first of the photo etch, at least here on the engine, and show you guys. Very cool. So I'm going to be getting these two pieces out. Again, there's different ways to do this, but the first thing, I always try to go with my X-Acto knife. Again, make sure it's sharp, and you know, just look, and sometimes it takes a little bit of work, but you know, I start on the top and then I come to the back, and you know, just try to make sure, because sometimes it does want to not play nice. Just have patience. It's photo etch, it's metal. And let's see here. Okay, getting there. Sometimes this photo etch just really does not want to let go, right? Okay, so this one's out, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get it turned over. I'm going to take a quick look at it, make sure everything's good, that the little burrs are cleaned off. When you cut it that, usually with that small of a piece, you can cut it close. And we're going to put it right here. Let's see if I can get that focused. And yes, you can use CA, you can use thinner, but one thing I found after doing photo etch for a while is, with the CA, sometimes you do right and get it right on spot, and that's it. You leave it alone. And other times it's like, okay, come on, why aren't you getting in there? So I did some looking, and I found something, because I do photo etch on clear parts too, and you're going to have to do that. So what this is micro metal foil adhesive. So it creates realistic, yeah, blah blah blah. But the great thing is it's fast drying, it's permanent, but it also starts to dry. It dries clear, which is a good thing. Now you get it in this bottle, and it's like, oh my gosh. So a lot of times I will take a toothpick, and gotta find that part again. Sometimes that happens when you're doing photo etch, so it's right there. Sometimes I lose it on my mat, but so I'll take it off. I have a toothpick, and I dip it in, get a little bit of glue on, and then I'll just, maybe a little more, then I'll just kind of, I'll put it there, get it kind of swished around. Now with this, you kind of want to give it a second. Sometimes that's a little too much here, so take a Q-tip and just kind of soak some of that up. And you want to let it start, the best term is tacky. I mean, it's not completely dry, but it's not super wet, because you want it to get tacky just to a point, but not so tacky that you can't actually work with it. So that's been about nice. And then what I'll do is I bring it up here, and if I got it in place, I can push it down. So just like that, and now we don't have any of that stuff. So let me do the last one. I'll share that with you guys again. Good sharp X-Acto knife. And there. First time go. Again, the tweezers so I can take a look at it. Okay, that's good. Then one more time. It's a little better. Now we'll let it sit for a second, and we'll go there. And a lot of times I'll do a kneel on the photo etch, just so it kind of, it heats it up. It's because this is tight. Sometimes you need to go and heat it up, get it hot, so in case you do bend it or you have to bend it. Because I'm not bending any of these, I'm not going to heat it up. It'll make it a lot easier when you go to do the bends. But again, okay, maybe just a little too much. There we go. And make sure it is right side up. And there we go. They are now all in. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. And they are all in. So that is one part of doing a photo etch, and I will definitely share the other photo etch. But back to work I go. So here's a fun little next part. Okay, you don't want to focus. Come on, focus. Focus. Okay. Focus. There we go. Okay. So we have a nut, and this is a 2mm nut. Pretty easy to find, and it comes in the bag with all of this. Alright, hold on. Now let me do this. Let me show you guys this bag of this little fun. And then, you see, then I have to put in 2 of these poly parts bits in. So, I'm not gluing this, or any of these parts in. I just wanted to show you guys. And let's see if I can, let's get you back down here. So, it glues on to this part. I'm trying here, guys. I usually don't have it up this close, but so it's going to glue onto this part. And I really don't want to put hardly, well, I mean, the poly's fine if it gets in. I just try not to. I'm going to run it on this line. And yeah, the fun, right? And that's the fun of it, is trying to figure out the best way, because I'll have to do it like that. Okay, so I'm going to have to put it down like this. Let me get out there a little bit. Okay, so first things again, I get my glue, and like I said, I can go, if I need to, I can go really, really nuts with it, but I don't really want to. And then, very gingerly, now, there we go. And what I'll do to help is I'll just put a clamp on it till that Tamiya thin sets up. But yeah, like I said, the Tamiya models, they're a lot of fun. There's a lot of different things you can do with them. They have a lot of different great ideas on doing things. But so I just wanted to share that with you. So now I'm going to get back to work and get other things finished. All right, taking a break on the Spitfire for a second. I did a little fixing on this, and right now I'm just waiting for this putty to dry. This fixing up the air bubbles, and then I can take a look at it. Now, what I'm going to do when I start painting this kit, I want to get from the top of the shirt all the way down and get that done and clear coated, and then get it protected. It's going to be a lot easier so I can do the face. It's easier to mask off down here and then do the face, and try to do the face and then try to mask the face off. I mean, this is a little bit easier. So I've done a real light sanding with my 800 grit. Took down a lot of the little bleebs, but I gotta wait for this Vallejo's liquid putty to dry, and then I can go in and take a look at it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, once it gets all dry, I'm going to hit this with a primer so I can get a good look and see what else I need to do. And just to kind of share with you guys, I'm still working on some pre-builds, but bag of engine parts, engine, and a lot more little bits to do. So that's what I've been working on right now. And I will tell you one thing: make sure when you're working on this Tamiya Spitfire, oops, sorry, dang elbows. Make sure you're up here and not. Sometimes I like to work back here, and I'll tell you what. When you start dripping or dropping the small parts, it kind of becomes a pain, because I don't have a carpet monster, but I do. You dropping small parts, man. It took me. I dropped two. It took me about 30 minutes to find it. So yes, make sure you're up here. So let me get the tall man moved around a bit. So, and then I'll get back onto the Spitfire here. So, as I have a lot more to do, or when I get a lot more to share with you guys, I definitely will. Alright, I will return. Well, good morning. It's Wednesday, and man, what a day yesterday. Got into the studio, started doing some work, and then all of a sudden we just got hit by another pretty decent sized snowstorm, and the wind was a-blowing, and my daughter and granddaughter and her husband were coming over, so I had to make sure there was a nice path so they could get to the house and all that. So man, oh man, it snowed very good for the last week of 2021, and now it snowed again really good. So that's where it is. But to show you what I did do, get you some of these parts out, as I'm still doing the pre-builds. And I've gotten ailerons. Oh, sorry. I've gotten a lot of little bitty things done. I've got the ailerons. I've got the wheel wells started, or the wheels. Got, I'll show you this, guys. Got this guy done, the prop. So basically that's what I was working on, was getting these guys, getting more pre-build done so I can start thinking about where I'm going to go and do painting. Because I need to I want to get started on that, but I want to make sure I get all the pre-builds done and everything before I start doing that. So that's what I was working on, and yes, little Ziploc baggies can save your behind when it comes to doing that. Also, put another, I got everything sanded down and then put another coat of filler primer so I could see if I needed to touch anything else up, so it's good. And then I got to looking at what my client wants for basically the base, or this part. And while I love the texture on it, he's looking at something more marble. So I am starting to try to sand down some of the high ridges. I'm going to leave a little detail in, but I want to sand some of it down because marble is a nice, flat, even surface, and I just want to make sure that that's there. And then, once that is all good to go, I'll do one more quick double check and see if there's anything else I need to take care of, and then we'll start working on the paint. But this is usually the first week in any build is a lot about getting the little bits done, getting the things that you need to get done before you can really get things done. So cleaning, pre-builds, putty, sand, re-putty, re-prime. So that's what I'm going to keep working on, guys. So when I have more to share with you, I definitely will. You know that. So I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, I think I'm finally at a point so I can do this marble texture paint job. So I went through with Mr. Plastic Putty tube. Let me see if I can. Let me dig it up real quick. Perfect Plastic Putty. And I went and used it, and it worked really well. I mean, I started with my Bondo, but I kind of liked the way it did, and I got it down pretty good and smooth. I left, stuff on there. Let me get this up here so you guys can see it. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one more primer on it and see what I think, and then if I like it, which I hope, I should, then I'm gonna get started laying some paint down on this base. So this is pretty easy. This is all black and that, but then here the marble effect goes through in here too. So I have to I'm gonna go ahead and get it all primed up, and then I don't know if I'm probably gonna go ahead and get the letters painted, and then I'll mask those off and do the whole the marble effect all at once. So not at once, but that way I don't have to try to mask off the marble effect in the lettering instead of just doing the lettering. So gonna go give this a quick damp wipe down, get all the little dusties off, and get priming on it again. So let me go take care of that, and then I will return. Well, good morning, and getting back to work. And before I do this part, I wanted to show you guys. So got some of the painting started. Now, trust me, this is not the end result of the painting. I'm just letting things get there, but and then I'll get them weathered up and aged and all that fun jazz. See that, guys? Sorry, let me. This is really cool. And that's what I'm doing right now, is getting little bits of detail on. I didn't think you guys want to see that, but what I wanted to show you is if you use photo etch and you know you're going to have to paint it. I always had that rough, okay, wait a second, it's primed, and then I go to try to put on my other colors, and well, I start taking the primer off because, well, it doesn't have a base. So sorry about that, guys. 2 seconds here, just getting some stuff moved around. So I did find something that helps. This is Tamiya's, oh sorry, getting camera, metal primer, and it works really good. I mean, you still gonna get the scratch, but sometimes. But so basically, all you gotta do is, I've got my photo etch piece here cut out and ready to go. Then all I'm going to do is just apply a nice even coat over that, and then when this dries, I'll flip over and do the back side just to, you know, make sure. But also, the primer is now set on Tall Man, and I did a thing this morning before I turned the camera on. I've got his name painted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect this with a brush on, clear coat, and then that way I can mask this off, and then I can start doing stonework. So that's the other plan today. So there's that, and I'm just going to keep working on it. I mean, there's not really much to show right now because it's just, you know, in that stage of getting things painted and built. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you these guys. So that is XF71, the Cockpit green. This is XF71, and then on the instructions it said AS12 for the paint, which basically when you read the script, it says metal like. So what I did is I took the Vallejo steel. I did this and I masked it off, and then I put in this steel color, so it looks really, really sweet. And yes, it's starting to get the little bits in there. And trust me, like I said, guys, this is not the final part on any part of this cockpit painting. But so there's that. And yeah, so the fun, right? Always the fun. I love the fun. So I'm going to get back at it, guys, get some more things together there, and then I will share this with you guys when I start doing that. So I will return. Alright, welcome back, guys. Been pretty good day, and then got really good after lunch. But first things first. So here's the Tall Man, and here is, let me change that exposure so you kind of start to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm starting to do that granite texture, and I'm sorry I didn't share this with you guys, because this is actually, I mean, I've done a lot of stonework, but I've never actually tried marble work. So yes, I went ahead and reprimed over the Tall Man sign, because it's going to be easier to hand brush that and not. So because I did a sandable black primer that I like to use, especially for resin and 3D prints, I went with a neutral gray, and you know, after that everything was, because that primer was black, so I went with the neutral gray, and I did a nice even light coat over the first part of it, and then first time around, and then I started just going and hitting highlights, dark areas, and that got dry. Well, then, sorry, 1 second. So yeah, then I did the gray and let that get dry. And then what I did is I went back, and for some reason I really love flat white. I love flat white. So instead of airbrushing it, I went back and took, you know, one of my bigger fan brushes. Let me see if I can find where I put it so I can share with you guys. Okay, yeah, right here. So I took this brush, and I basically start started like right here, and I brushed this section in. I just kind of really over, you know, I wanted that white really good, you know, so when I went to go do, and why I wanted that, I wanted it on there good and thick, and I didn't want to see the underneath, any of the primer or any of the gray work. Then what I did is I took a piece of plastic, not this bag, but just another piece of plastic, and I cut it in half, and as this was wet, I just crinkled it up and just started doing that with the wrinkles in the plastic. And I was watching a lot of builders and painters, and yeah, so I like that technique because what it did is it gave that dimension you want. So after I did all that with the white and the plastic wrap, I let this sit and get really, really good and dry. Then what I did, what I do with most of my builds, is after all this paint and everything was really good and dry, I went with some 2000 grit wet sandpaper and water, and then I went back and lightly sanded all of it. Take any ridges, take any, you know, excess down. Oh, and then, oh, sorry, let me see. And then made it all really nice and smooth again. And then I just took some sky gray and a sponge, and I just kind of started going, you know, hitting highlights, hitting different areas, skin texture, kind of random. And one thing I will tell you guys, if you do want to do a sponge, you know, just tack in sponge textures to give it a little breakup, like dry brushing, make sure you blot a little bit on the paper towel or something, because you got to go push in, and man, all of a sudden it's just like a lot of gray. So, but that is where we're at here. So now I'm gonna let this get really good and dry, and then I'm gonna go in and I'll share that with you on another one when I get ready to do that. But also, I have started getting the interior of the cockpit together, and show you that, guys. And basically what I did when I showed you that gloss is, the reason I gloss is I like Tamiya Panel accent, and with it, the best way to actually use it get the best out of it is do it once you got everything where you want it painted, decals on everything, if you know doing decals, then do another overall gloss. And once that gets good and dry, and then you come back with your Tamiya Panel accent or whatever wash you want to use, it makes it a lot easier because the paint's sealed. There's no little indentations, little air bubbles, or just little pockets. So it's sealed with that clear gloss, and then you go in and you can do it. You can let it sit as long as you want, or do sometimes, like especially with this stuff, I'll get it on, I'll give it about a minute, and then I'll go back in with either a Q-tip or paper towel and just kind of blow it off. But yeah, so you start seeing that funny stuff. So what I got left, I got a lot left, but for this, I'm waiting on the instrument front part of the cockpit to get finished, so I can add it onto that piece, and then I'm going to put it all together, and then, woohoo, a little bit done. And then I've started priming a lot of other things, so I'm just making sure this is back up. So yeah, that's where it's at, guys. That's what I'm doing, and yeah, lots of fun, right? All right, I'm gonna get back to work, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Good morning, Friday, and yes, back to work. So, first thing I did this morning is I wet sanded down the Tall Man base again, and I just did a little bit of black. I'm gonna let that dry, then I'm gonna go do some other things, and I will share that with you when I get back onto that. But just to share with you guys, the interior. Let's do this. See if I can get it up there. Check that out. Very cool. And yay! So that got done. So now I'm going to keep working on the sidewalls and stuff that needs to go into the cockpit. Yay, right? So this is where I'm at right now. Let's get this down where you can actually see it. So I'm going to start on this. So I went ahead, like I said, I primed it, and I went ahead and did the cockpit green. And now I'm going to just start going and doing the wee little bits. And this is all pretty much hand painting, especially for in here to get what I'd like. Now, Tamiya does really good on trying to give you a lot of the colors, but if you guys remember, let me show you. This part right here, Tamiya told me, oh, you got to paint that yellow, and I'm looking at an actual cockpit picture of the Spitfire Mk. So yeah, I didn't do that. So let's see if I can share that with you here. Try to get it in focus. This little bit right there, and I painted it whole red because that's what it looks most like in the picture. So another thing, I mean, this is when you build this, guys, it's you do it however you want to. But if they do have these reference photos, I would definitely say, yeah, keep a, definitely bring it back in the camera. Definitely use it. So now I'm going to start working on this and referring back to not only their paint guide, but to the actual reference photos. So, first thing is, and it also, one other thing it says is, oh, X18, well, that's semi-gloss, and I understand, but I like the flat black. It looks a heck of a lot more real. And so yeah, so I'm gonna get back to this, and I will come back and show you what I did and how it looks. So I will return. All right, well, I'm happy, very happy. Let me change this exposure again, just so maybe you guys can, there. So I'm very happy with that marble effect. So yeah, very happy. Now I am gonna polish this up a little bit more, but yeah, very cool, very, 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 very cool. And got the cockpit almost finished, got all the parts painted, and show you real quick. Let me change that. There we go. And so, let's see if I can do that for you. Bring it up there a little bit. Now, yeah, and oh yes, yes. So, oh, it needs to go like that. Sorry. Pretty nifty. So yeah, I gotta get these weathered up and take care of that. But yeah, one big part is finished pretty much, and I gotta still put in these guys back. So let me get on those, his name, and I'll be back and share. All right, guys, there we go. And yeah, I'm very, very happy so far. So yeah, but hey, not too bad. All the cleanup and all that, now it's all done, or the base is pretty well done. Alright, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hey guys, so I'm going to weather up the inside, and pretty simple. I mean, you can do however much weathering or not weathering. Let me try to keep it in camera, sorry about that. So I've glossed it, I did a clear gloss coat, and I use bigger brushes when I need to, but for this will work right here. And just kind of start getting it in there. Well, let me show you what a bigger brush will do for you. And I just really start letting that seep in good. Now one thing when I do, like I said, you can let this sit however long you want, but make sure it is glossed. Because if it's not a clear coated paint job you didn't seal it, you're gonna hate life. Because the one thing about this Tamiya Panel X, it does really well, but it can also just wow on paint that hasn't been sealed yet, because it really seeps into all those pores and everything. Okay, so I've let this sit for, about a minute, and basically all I'm doing is I'm just tapping it off. Now I might go and wipe a little bit, like with the Q-tip in the smaller areas where I don't want some, because it is that. Let me put it down. Sorry, guys. And I'll use a paper towel for a lot of it, but sometimes you're going to have to get in here with the Q-tip and do it. Now, if you want to let this sit and completely dry, then you're going to need to get mineral spirits, because mineral spirits will help take off what's dried in the overdone. If you're doing like panel lines or something, and you just want that to sit in there, but you got to do a broad stroke, and you let it dry, then you take mineral spirits and lightly pull over that area, and I'll leave the panel line black, but it'll get back to the original paint, but with the clear coat. So again, get that out of there. Sorry guys, I'm trying to stay on camera. Let me just zoom out there a bit. Okay. So again, all I'm doing is I'm just going to town, having a little fun with it. Not really going, I'm not being stingy with it. Let's just say that. Right? So again, we're just going to let it sit for a second or two, and then I'll remove what I don't want. Basically, I'll blot it, and then we'll let it sit and dry. And then I'll go back with the matte coat and seal it again and take down that really high shine. So again, I just go in like this, and I just kind of start blotting. Like I said, it works really well. And then if you need to, take your Q-tip in and just, do the same thing, smaller areas where you just don't, you want it grunged, but you don't want it to be over grunged. Okay. And there we go. Now once these dry, I will seal them with matte varnish. And yeah, be one more step closer. Alright, I will be back, guys. Alright. Since I got the tall man bust off pretty well done, I'm going to let it sit and really get good and dry before I start more work on it. But just to show you guys, I got this side on. Got the sides of the cockpit interior on. And I got the heads-up display, the gun sight, it's in. Everything is now in. So very, I love that. That's very cool. I mean, it's just great. And I got part of the wings built. Oh, because there's still a lot more to add on to it, but I just wanted to, because I still got to put panels and everything in. But hey, let's do this. Let's take a peek real quick. Let's see how this is going to really. Sorry guys, just kind of muttering to myself. Oops. But hey, gonna have it very cool. And then, oh sorry, then camera, then the interior, and the cockpit will sit in there something like so, give or take. Sorry, can't keep it in camera, but hey, not a bad. We got the inners done. Now I got to still put the belts in, but I can do that. That's going to be nice, simple, and easy. But hey, again, really liking that. And the wings are done. The body's painted. Parts are now primed. All the other parts are now ready to go. So yay! So let me get some things cleaned up, and I will be back. Okay guys, so here is the tall man base. And yes, I got all the masking off, so when I go to mask what I did this week, then I'll have an easier time, and then I can really start getting into that. But yes, the tall man's name. And then, yes, got started on the Spitfire. Got quite a lot of pre-building done. Got started getting some paint down this week, so I was very happy about that. And let's do it this way. Let's see. Sorry guys. But yay, huh? Very, very cool. Let's go over the top. We'll look in the back. Alright guys, so this is where I'm going to leave it for this week. Of course, you know I'll be back to work on the weekend, Sunday probably. But yeah, not a bad first week in January. So with that, everybody, I hope you've had a happy new year. Had a great first week of 2022. And have a great, safe, and have a great and safe weekend. Have a great and safe week next week. And I'll see you back here on the bench.